So sitting here at the park, I want to get these videos in as quickly as I can. It's July 4th. The place is packed. Kids are playing in the park with Amy, and I'm getting ready to finish up my videos and get going here for the rest of the evening. So we'll start with the 2-year-olds. Now the 2-year-olds, we got a lot to talk about with them. How they did, how they're coming, where I see them going. Almost there, boss. Sylvain said he was a bit of a runaway the other day, and he thinks he might have shut his air off. So Harry's going to change some stuff in his mouth, put a Crick Davis in his mouth, a little choke plate on him. I think you'll see a much better, a much different, much improved Almost There boss in his next outing. Amor Diener was fourth, closing in, and did very well his first start. He made a little break at the wire, trotted a mile 59 last quarter, 28 apiece. Can't ask for much more than that. Arches Rainbow will qualify Tuesday. This is a big qualifier for her and Mischievous Rose. We're going to scope them and take a serious look at how their airways look after their qualifiers and make decisions on what we're going to do moving forward after that. Better Be Sawyer was great in her first start. Very happy with Better Be Sawyer in general. Big mile for her first start. 2 moved her. Second and 57, closing in quick at the wire. Now, I think she's picked first or second in her first grassroots at Georgian this week. Travis Henry will be driving her. Blue Bayou Dio, we got a new driver. Louis Philippe Waugh is going to drive Blue Bayou Dio. James has one in there. I'd like to see this filly go a good mile this week. We'll see what she can do. She looked great in her first outing for James last week. Bomb Hugger. Been talking so much about this filly. Geez, really since February. How good she is, how talented she is. Was an easy winner in her first start at the Meadows, and she is heading into her second start, her first stake race ever at New York at Saratoga this week. What else do we got here? Century Invictus, a sharp qualifier for him, 55 and a piece. He looked very good. Funny what a win will do with a horse. It will do to a horse. How their confidence will blossom. He looked very good. Confederate Cruiser looked great qualifying the other day. He'll start in the Buckeye, I think on the 13th or 14th, around that time frame. What else do we got here? Duke Dio. I turned Duke Dio out for three or 4 weeks for no other reason than timing. I was I'm very impressed with what this horse has become. Now, he's not a New Jersey sired hype horse just yet, and won't be, obviously, in time for the Meadowlands. The first leg just went. So why not turn him out, bring him back for the second installment in the freehold area, Garden State Trot, blah, blah, blah. I think this horse could be a good horse. Let's turn him out. Let him fill out a little bit, relax. He deserves it. Horse qualified great. I'm very impressed with Duke Dio. Isa 10, very interested to see how she is going to race on Wednesday. I like everything I've seen from this filly. I felt bad for her trying to trot in that deeper track with an open-toed shoe on the other day. That's where the shoes are turned around. We're just trying to get her in a comfortable spot, and I think and hope we got her there. We'll see on Wednesday. Garden State Dio come out of the gate with an explosive qualifier the other day at Northfield, one that really forced my hand after watching the fillies race at the Meadowlands. Just because you went in 56 and 1 at Northfield does not mean you're going to tackle everybody in 54 or 55 at the Meadowlands. I don't think they're going to out-trot her speed-wise. She's clearly fast enough, but these are no joke. It's a tough division of horses. So we'll see how our girl Garden State Dio does. Grace picked to win in Ontario on Tuesday. Very impressed with Grace and very happy with the way she's behaving and the way she is qualified. So can't wait to see how Grace will do. On I think she's on Tuesday. Granite Hill, he's doing his work. He hasn't made any breaks. He's done everything we've asked him to do. I think he's like 7-2 morning line in the Buckeye on tomorrow night, on Monday. So I don't know. We'll see how Granite Hill does. He's done everything as well as he could have. Jason said he trained great on the weekend, so we'll see how Granite Hill does on Monday. Harvard Yard tied up, I think Tim told me the other day, so they're going to have to work on that, get her cleaned up, and then move forward with her. Hill of Magic, a mile in 2 minutes. Great. I think she could do more, so I want to see her do more. I don't think she has to do more than 2 minutes, does she? To do well in the Buckeye on Wednesday? I don't believe so, but we'll see. Hope's Reprise. This horse missed 2 weeks. We couldn't get him in to go anywhere. So we'll see how he does. We'll see how he does moving forward. We'll see how he does moving forward. This week, I need to see him race or qualify. He needs a tight mile. The Stallion Series is going to be tough for this horse, but we would like to get him a couple of starts. But to get him starts, we have to actually race. So it'd be nice to get him qualified and or race this week. Luck of the Dragon, huge mile from him. I don't think anybody really realizes how good a mile that was at the Marion Fair. There was 2-year-old pacers and trotters going in 2.8 and 2.9, and this horse won a mile in 2.2 the other day. It was a big mile. I can't wait to race him this week at Northfield Park. I believe it's Northfield. Massive Profit jogged in Indiana and looked very, very good. Irv Miller, as I said, one short text, nice colt with an exclamation mark. He liked them pretty hard not to. 58 last quarter, 27-4. He looked ultra impressive. Matt's MVP, we turned him out simply to let him grow. This horse that clearly is fast enough, but mentally and physically you have to be one, and he just isn't there yet. So we'll turn him out, let him grow up, fill out. He may have some underlying issues. Maybe his stifles are open and hurting him. Maybe your knees are hurting. Maybe his knees are hurting him a little bit. Who knows? But at the end of the day, he's certainly not ready to race. So, we can patch him up, put him in to go. But why? Why not let the horse become the best horse he can become, and then start, and then go with him? Would you rather have a mediocre 2-year-old and 3-year-old, or not race at 2 and have a good 3-year-old? Because that's the potential that could be happening. That's exactly what could happen. So Matt's MVP turned him out to let him grow up. Mischievous Rose, big qualifier coming this week for her. Both her and Arches Rainbow. How did I jump over Arches Rainbow? I don't think I talked about Arches Rainbow. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But both Mischievous Rose and Arches Rainbow, big qualifiers from them. Right after the qualifiers, we're going to scope them. That will tell the tale. Are they ready to race? Do they need time because of the heat and the allergies? We'll know on Tuesday. So Tuesday is a big, big day for both of these fillies. Of Tom, beaten fair and square. I think she was a victim of circumstances, a victim of the race. The half just went fast and kind of sucked the life out of her. But we'll see. She'll be back at it Friday. She races again in the first Sire Stakes. That was the next generation. First Sire Stakes is coming up this Friday in Scioto. 1-2 Skip a Few is in Wednesday in the Buckeye. This filly already set a track record and has looked fantastic all year long. Pretty happy with 1-2 Skip a Few. Peanut Butter and Jelly, another filly we turned out just because she needed time, much like Matt's MVP or Duke Dio. Well, Duke didn't need it. I gave it to him for different reasons, but the other two most definitely just need time to grow up. They're not going to be effective right now. Bred well, they've shown enough speed. Let's give them some time to grow up and become the horses we want, and that's where we're at with Peanut Butter and Jelly. Prairie Fire will be racing Friday in Scioto. His first Sire Stake race, his second lifetime start, will be there this coming week. Procrastinator will race in the Buckeye. He has looked fantastic. Obviously, we hoped for a little bit more, but man, considering where he was and where he is, he's done plenty. Purple Aura, fantastic miler, first start, 158. She's going to be back at it next week in Scioto in the Sire Stakes also. Prince Tab is racing. What day is he racing? Wednesday in an open maiden. Just trying to get this guy raced. We'll see how he does this week where did I say it was? Oh, Northfield, and then he'll go to the Meadows for a Stallion Series after that. Renegade Gypsy will be in the gold this week. Man, he raced awesome his first start. Moved him like 3 times, 2 minutes in a monsoon. You can't ask him to do any more than that. Mario did good with him. The horse did great. So good job for both of them. Resolute Bay raced good. James drove him good. The horse just looked good at Grand River. He'll be in the first grassroots event. I think it's in Georgian, but I'm not positive. Might be at Mohawk. Rose Above It, second the other day. Yeah, I thought he should have been a winner. We're going to bring him home, freshen him up a little bit, and bring him back for the Stallion Series at the Meadows. Rosie's Masterpiece. 2.5, you might say, gee, she didn't do much, but she was short and coming off the virus. I think Mario did the right thing with her, and I think she'll bounce back with a good race in the grassroots for us. Slim Jimmy, I don't think he'll be in the grassroots. I think we'll be going to the Sire Stakes with him. A romping victor in a qualifier in 57-2, and he looked good doing it. And then Stonebridge Dolce is going to school again this week. Mile and 2.6 the other day. I thought she looked great. Stonebridge Hakati, he's done for the season. Well, he's out for the season. He had a couple little lines in his knees. We'll let him heal up. I guess he's really in the same boat. Whether a good way of looking at it, whether it's Kathy with an eye who had a touch of pneumonia and is going to miss the season, or the horse with the lines in his knees, Stonebridge Hecate, or whether you're talking about Peanut Butter and Jelly or Matt's MVP that just need time to grow up. If you need time, you need time. Doesn't really matter why. Sweet on Pete doesn't need any time. Very, very interested. I can't wait to see this filly race on Wednesday. I actually have really high hopes for her. I think she's going to be a nice filly for us. 3 Point Blue Chip trained well by himself on Saturday. That's rare. He doesn't usually train well by himself. He trained very good by himself. We'll see how he comes out of it and how he looks on Monday. Ty went on. Big mile from her last week. Not as big as we hope, but pretty big. 57-4, 29-4 on the end of it in the mud. Let's see how she does over the next few weeks. Tioga Sunshine will miss the first grassroots more than likely. You'll see her in the second one, though. Man, the big chunk of ulcer that they took off that palate was gross. It had to impact her a little bit, so we'll see how she is. Twinbee Habanero has been training great. So far, I've been in 2-3 with him. We'll see how he trains this week. Twinkle in Her Eye, first start in the grassroots this week at Georgian Downs. Travis Henry will drive him. On her, Unbeatable Kemp raced at the Meadowlands. Raced at the Meadowlands on, just trying to think of Saturday night. Now, as I said in the opening, I told Dave Miller, hey, I wouldn't be first over on the front with this colt. Now, Dave Miller drove it 3 tracks, raced all night in the mud. Probably forgot anything I had said to him, anything that I had said to him heading into the other night's race. But if he drives him again, I bet you he won't be first over in the last turn with him. The horse is just a weird animal, weird horse in the sense that you just can't march him first over like that in the middle of a turn. He doesn't like it. He's never trained well like that. If you wait till head of lane, he'll finish hard. But if you move him right there in that spot, I don't know why. 3 Point Blue Chip would do that once in a while too, also. So you gotta watch this horse. But we'll see. First and foremost, I'd like to talk to Ronnie and Dave and say, hey, do you think he's good enough? I think he is. He certainly didn't race like he was good enough the other night, but what was your take on what took place? And for that matter, even more, he may have scoped sick. His blood may not have come back good. But from me, knowing the horse, seeing the race, certainly my biggest concern was that, when you move him first over in that particular place, or at any place, second over he's fine, and the whole bottle up he's fine, just not real good first over. You Got a Belief was tired at the fair, and the track was deep. He worked hard through it. I'm sure even though the 8-hole or not, I'm sure he's still pretty happy to be racing at an actual racetrack. He hits the ground very lightly, and I think that deep stuff just tired him right out. I saw him after the race at Marion, and he was very, very tired after the race. So he worked as hard as he could, whereas this is a horse that qualified in 2 minutes, which should be enough for any Buckeye. I'm sure if we draw the 3, 4, 5 hole, I'm pretty excited. 8-hole, kind of got to get what you get, right? And do what you can do. And maybe we'll have some breakers. It's a 2-year-old trot race. I'm sure we will. So we'll see how Leaf races. But one thing's for sure, he'll put out 100%. He always does. Voyage of Ice and Fire has been very, very good. I wish he had been a little bit better the other night. But again, 7-hole, got shuffled way back at the quarter pole, bunch of breakers in front of us. He did all he could. This was one of our biggest hopefuls, and still is. If we draw 3, 4, or 5 with this guy and I get to get him out of the gate and get a chance to race him, I think we'll see a little bit better showing from Voyage of Ice and Fire this Friday coming at Scioto Downs. Will to Win Hanover, obviously, again, I guess I don't have to keep mentioning her. She will be, well, I guess her foot's probably healed now, but still, by the time you factor in time off, jogging back, you've missed the season. There's no point talking about it. So Will to Win Hanover will be at it in 2022. And then World for 2, he raced great the other night. 4th, you know what those ridiculously slow fractions, it's so painful to watch like a qualifier. They just walk them over to the 3/4 and then just blast them down the lane. And he come 26-3, a mile and 57-2. He did everything he could. The position he was in, you weren't going to make up any lengths, and he did well to hold his own. 26-3 on the end of it for any 2-year-old colt his size this time of year. Pretty good mile in my book. So interested to see how the rest of the summer will play out for our boy, World for 2. So those are all the 2-year-olds. I'll be back. We still got the stables to talk about. Be back in just a minute.